From the Lone Star State and the Bluegrass State, this is your Two Dads. Two real dads giving you the real news.
Like the FAA is desperately seeking psychos, and Trump wins Iowa. Good morning, everybody. Hello. I'm JJ. This is rumble.com/JJW. Normally, I'm here with my friend Deacon, and but we're all experiencing severe cold right now. It's colder than it should ever be in Texas. It's like 17, 18 degrees or whatever. Not supposed to be this cold. And as a result, nobody here can drive. A little bit of wet gets on the ground, totally freezes over, car crashes everywhere. So anyway, I'm in Texas. Deke's in Kentucky. He's got like 2 inches of snow. He's not able to get to the station. He's maybe going to join us and try to do this on his phone. We'll find out soon. But we were not able to stream yesterday because of the cold weather, and I really wanted to because we were going into the Iowa caucus, and then last night the Iowa caucus happened, so we got the results of that. So we'll look at that a little bit, and there's also this very big story that is extremely important to me. It's frightening, so we'll talk about that too. So good morning, everybody, and we're just gonna hang out and see if Deke jumps in or calls or something. So let me send him a message right now. Let's see. Okay. So good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We meet here Monday through Friday, and we generally, me and Deke, talk, drink coffee and talk news and talk politics, culture, and stuff like that. And we're off to the beginning of the political season. I mean, this is the opening round, right? It's not really the start, but it's the start. It's a big milestone. Iowa caucuses are the first caucus in the nation. I think the next one is like in a week. You get the second one. But we just crossed out a big question mark in the Republican primary, as in which candidate is the America First faction of the Republicans going to coalesce behind. Who are they going to support? Are they going to support Donald Trump again, or are they going to give a chance to youngblood Vivek Ramaswamy? Are they going to cross over and support Ron DeSantis or warmonger Nikki Haley? We got some results in last night. Let's start there. From Breitbart News, Iowa caucuses kick off the 2024 GOP nominating process, and Donald Trump takes it away. He got something like 51% of the election. We don't really know who's number 2 and number 3. It seems like number 2 would be Nikki Haley, and number 3 would be Ron DeSantis. Coming in fourth, let's see. Coming in fourth was Vivek Ramaswamy, and Vivek ended up calling Donald Trump last night to concede, congratulate Donald Trump, and endorse Donald Trump for the America First faction of the Republican primary. Let's see. Let's go to Real Clear Politics and see if they have final numbers for the Iowa caucus. Yep, they do. Here we go. Trump, with 56,260 votes, got 51% of the Iowa Republican caucus and 20 delegates. DeSantis actually pulled in second with 21.2%. Nikki Haley pulled in 19.1%. Now, the two of them together, if one of them dropped out, the two of them together would only be 44,000 votes, which means that Donald Trump beat both the second and third place nominees with enough margin to take it away anyway. Ramaswamy ended up pulling 7.7%, which is good considering he run a really frugal campaign. I think like something like $50 million was spent against Ron DeSantis in, I don't know, attack ads. Something like $100 million was spent by Nikki Haley overall. So, and they not only couldn't achieve 25% of the electorate, but they really couldn't touch where Trump is at. Ramaswamy, though, is spending much less, like a couple of $1 million. He was able to pull in 7%. It's a significant kind of tip. And so if Ramaswamy's votes go to Trump, that is, if supporters of Ramaswamy will now go to Trump, you're looking at closer to something like 60%. So that's fairly impressive. Let's see. From scanner.com, Ramaswamy suspends presidential campaign, endorses Trump. You'll have my full endorsement for the presidency. And here is Ramaswamy's concession speech.
As I've said since the beginning, there are two America First candidates in this race. And earlier tonight, I called Donald Trump to tell him that I congratulate him on his victory. And now going forward, he will have my full endorsement for the presidency. And I think we're going to do the right thing for this country.
Well, that's a little disappointing, to be sure, because I was very slowly being persuaded out of the Trump chaos bull in a China cabinet camp, because I just want him to wreck the establishment, into Vivek, who seemed to have a very focused and determined approach to dismantle the surveillance state, the establishment, and in a way that we've seen Trump not be able to do. And, he's only surviving it, really. Trump is only surviving it. And I really thought Vivek at least had a vocal, expressed desire to dismantle this thing. And, well, that's just not going to happen if you're concession. He's younger, he articulate, focused, but if you can't get the support, then you got to make a call at some point. I wonder if it's too early, or maybe it's just it was just they're not seeing the traction that they wanted to see. But so Vivek is out. Vivek is out now. He might be setting himself up for a future here. He might be setting himself up as a strongest supporter of Trump. Maybe contend for that VP nomination. Maybe contend for some other kind of cabinet position. Maybe be able to recycle his public image in 2028. That's possible. 4 years is a very, very long time. So if he doesn't manifest this into something material in a Trump administration, then people are going to kind of forget he was here. Trump also, this last week, right before the Iowa caucus, fired back at Ramaswamy and basically Vivek Ramaswamy had been supportive of Trump to the exclusion of his own campaign anyway, throughout this entire process. And as a consequence, was not really attacked by Trump at all during the entire entire year or so that we've seen the run up to this, as opposed to Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Chris Christie and the others who, Trump will roundly make fun of or kind of call them out. But Vivek, he didn't really, until Vivek started selling the Save Trump shirts, Save Trump, vote for Vivek. And at that point, Donald Trump kind of came out at him a little bit. And so there was but I mean, that's really just, you have to take on your adversaries in the primary. Now that he has called Trump and resigned. We have Trump congratulating his opponents.
I want to thank you very much. I want to congratulate Ron and Nikki for having a good time together. We're all having a good time together. And I think they both actually did very well. I really do. I think they both did very well. We don't even know what the outcome of second place is. And I see Carrie Lake. Congratulations, Carrie. Very good. I spotted her, I have to announce, because she's terrific. She's going to be a senator, a great senator, I predict, right? You're going to be a great senator. And I also want to congratulate Vivek, because he did a hell of a job. He came from 0, and he's got a big percent, probably 8%, almost 8%, and that's an amazing job. They all did. They're all very smart people, very capable people.
Big compliment from Trump as he's taking his victory lap. Now it remains to be seen how much gas is left in the DeSantis and the Nikki Haley gas tanks. Nikki Haley obviously has a lot of establishment support, and Ron DeSantis' support has been withering for months and months. So we'll see. Now, this is just the first caucus. We still have, I think I had a list of it here, but we still have many, many more races to go, and who knows what could shake up. And Donald Trump is not getting any younger. He's still over 80 years old, and he's in a competition against, I think Ron DeSantis is just a year or two older than me, maybe like 40. He's 40 something. Nikki Haley certainly looks to be older than that. Okay. So that is the state of the election at the moment. And, I personally am a little bit like, I wish that Vivek could afford to stay in there a little longer. Keep the pressure on, because now, because Vivek would have been a really good backup plan, or, a plan, a really good backup plan. Now, if the state can take out Donald Trump, if they can lock him up, put him in jail, keep him from running, whatever, then, we're going to end up with these establishment candidates that are going to do nothing to take apart the FBI that's observing its own citizens, the IRS that's being weaponized, the apparatus that's being built around us to contain us. All right, moving on. We got some crazy stories. So I saw this yesterday on Post Millennial, and then I think Tim ran with it on Tim Pool Daily Show. The FAA, Biden's FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, is actively recruiting people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities as part of their diversity and inclusion plan. Oh boy, this one's crazy. And it gets crazier. The Federal Aviation Administration places a priority on hiring people with severe intellectual disability as part of its diversity and inclusion initiative. According to its website, the FAA claims individuals with targeted or severe disabilities are the most underrepresented segments in the federal workforce. Under its People with Disabilities program, the agency says it actively recruits, hires, promotes, retains, develops, and advances people with disabilities. The FAA targets the following disabilities as a matter of policy: hearing, okay; vision, fine; extreme missing extremities, okay; partial paralysis, fine; complete paralysis, okay; epilepsy, all right; severe intellectual disability, and psychiatric disability and dwarfism. Now, hold on. Is that true? Well, here we have the FAA website, the actual FAA website. And if you scroll down here to people with disabilities and fold this down, it literally says targeted disabilities. They include hearing, vision, missing extremities, partial paralysis, complete paralysis, epilepsy, severe intellectual disability. What does that mean? Severe. And does that mean really, really stupid people? Really stupid people in the FAA. Psychiatric disability. Psychiatric disability. What does that mean? Is that mental illness? Is that people that are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? What is that? That is crazy. The FAA makes the rules that the airlines must abide by to keep our federal airspace safe. The FAA is the ones that hires the air traffic controllers, and we already know that that's a stressful job, and you're going to, okay. Oh, but JJ, they're not going to put people with severe psychiatric disabilities in the air control towers. They're not. Are you sure? Are you sure? The FAA told Fox News that it seeks qualified candidates from as many sources as possible, all of whom must go through rigorous qualifications that, of course, will vary by position. Its website reveals that those with disabilities or those who have veteran status can also be hired via non-competitive, on-the-spot process, as long as the manager files the right paperwork and giving them preferential treatment in the hiring process. The aviation industry has received further scrutiny from the public in the wake of an Alaska Airlines door plug, which we covered last week on the show, being blown off the side of a 737 MAX 9, causing it to make an emergency landing. On X, Elon Musk asked, "Do you want to fly in an airplane where they prioritize DEI over your safety?" And because that's actually happening. People will die due to DEI. Okay. Man, this is, but you know what? It's still a little bit abstract, right? It's still a little bit like in administrative and ethereal or whatever. It doesn't really hit home. Let's bring it a little bit closer home. Let's make it a little bit more frightening. From revolver.com. Sorry about the language. I don't really, especially like this. Meet the DEI trainee pilot hijacking United with no survivors. Okay. This is an airlines pilot. You can see this man dresses as a woman in his fun time. But this, sensational as it is not the frightening part of the story. So here is the CEO of United Airlines enjoys cross-dressing as a woman. This is the thing that's kind of like, okay, what? The U.S. aviation industry is crashing, both literally and figuratively. It's like we're watching the whole United Airlines, the whole airline sector fall apart at the seams. Pilots passing away out of the blue, passengers turning flights into a WWE-style brawl, doors and windows blowing off mid-flight, and air traffic controllers. Oh, hello. What's up? What are you doing? Oh, Deke's not here yet.
Okay.
You want to show? Come here, sweetie.
Oh, I just came here to get my answer.
Oh, okay.
So do you wanna put it? So where?
Come here.
I'm thinking you can put it like over there.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. Do you want to tell everybody what this is?
Yeah.
What is this?
It's a butterfly.
And where did I get it from?
Me.
You made it for me?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm going to put it right there, and everybody can look at my butterfly. Which side's the upside? This is the antenna, right?
Yeah, the antenna is the upside.
Okay, we're going to put it right there. Okay, I'm going to go back to talking the news, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Have fun.
Thanks. Bye, dear. Okay.
Just get a lot of points.
Okay. Here is the CEO of United Airlines. I'm going to let him talk for just a second. Let's see.
Military. How is diversity and diversity targets working into the Aviation Academy?
We have committed that 50% of the class of the classes will be women or people of color. Today, only 19% of our pilots at United Airlines are women or people of color. And by the way, from all the data I've seen, that's the highest of any airline in the country.
white males don't just dominate in the cockpits, also in the C-suite at United Airlines.
Well, look, at United, I'm proud of the diversity that we actually have in our C-suite. I think if you look around corporate America.
Correct me if I'm saying, though, so this was just based off your website, the people you list as executives, but out of 11 people, 3 are women. I believe 1 is a person of color.
That's correct. But, in corporate America, I think,
That's a low bar. How do you raise your own bar?
Well, a lot of this is, focusing on it. We have programs one of the things we do is for every job when we do an interview, we require women and people of color to be involved in the interview process, bringing people in early in their careers as well, and giving them those opportunities and creating a strong.
Okay, so a couple of things there that jumped out at me. First of all, he says only 19% of the pilots in the aviation industry are diverse. Basically, 71%. Oh, there's Deke. Okay, jump on if you can. Otherwise. All right, so 19% of pilots are diverse. Oh, he's got a noisy house too. 19% are diverse. 71% are just white guys flying airplanes at United Airlines, and he wants to crank that number to 50%. That means are they gonna have more pilots, or are they just going to replace existing pilots with more diverse pilots? And are we going to apply the same kind of hiring standards that the FAA is? I mean, it would be out of line if United Airlines was hiring out of alignment with the priorities of the FAA, which means we're talking pilots that are like recruiting pilots that are paralyzed, partially paralyzed. Come on, that doesn't make sense. Epilepsy, that doesn't make sense. Severe intellectual disability, dumber pilots. Are we seriously going to hire dumber pilots? What about severe psychiatric disabilities? That's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But that's the goal. Well, why would the CEO of United Airlines want to put such an emphasis in this category, except for something like an ESG funding score, except for, like United, do they need investment? They don't need investment. ESG doesn't make sense. So what else? Well, his name is Scott Kirby. He's the CEO of United Airlines, and he likes to dress up in drag. So if you saw the title card of the show, that's Scott Kirby. Apparently, let's go here. Here we go. That's Scott Kirby, CEO of United Airlines, dressed up as a cowgirl. Here he's at some party. And then I guess he's he did drag for the first time. No, he's not in that photo. Pride Week in Denver, and United is proud to sponsor Denver Pride. So, United Airlines under Kirby is, out and proud. So that means, seriously, and I'm not joking around. Because I recently flew on United Airlines, and it's good. It's probably the best flight I had ever been on, but it didn't have anything with it being diverse. And the idea that they would actively be seeking people that have psychiatric problems is frightening. We know that people in the trans community, the LGBTQIA+ community, suffer mental illness at a higher rate than the average person. They have a higher rate of attempted suicide. They have a higher rate of successful suicide, And when a person like that who has whatever difficulties they're dealing with in their brain, when they're the person behind the controls of an airplane, I mean, they're putting their own life at risk, and they're putting the lives of hundreds of people at risk. I think that this is absolutely crazy. It's shocking. Okay, what else do we have here? We got I think I played this the other day. We had some stuff that we had set up for the Iowa caucus in advance of the caucus, but it's kind of moot now. Tucker Carlson identified Nikki Haley as a liberal. She's essentially Hillary Clinton. So we're going to probably pass on those. We got some automobile stories. I'm probably going to wait till do some of that with Deke tomorrow. Here's a story I found on Gateway Pundit yesterday. California retail outlets are locking up underwear and socks due to the increase in theft. Boy, this is on gatewaypundit.com. Target and Walmart have both started locking away socks and underwear. This has caused some irritability on the part of customers who have to wait to get their products. Retail stores in the Bay Area have been hit the hardest. Two major retailers are in California are doing this amid a surge in retail theft in the state. You know, California added this provision that if the theft is less than like $900, they're basically not going to do anything. And as a consequence of this policy, theft is way up. As long as they stay under $900, they can basically skate. In an effort to prevent loss of additional merchandise, Target and Walmart stores in San Francisco Bay Area have locked up underwear and socks, frustrating customers who have to wait for assistance to receive undergarments. One Walmart store in the Hilltop area has started locking up underwear. According to the report, clerks say that their stores are being ravaged by shoplifters almost every day. To this customer, it may look like it's poor taste, but unfortunately, I mean, like, what do? You either stop people from stealing your goods, or you close the store and fire people. But you just can't just be bleeding out product and profit. Earlier this week, Governor Gavin Newsom, a Democrat, outlined a plan to crack down on retail property crimes throughout the state. It appears a little late in the game as Governor Newsom for him to start talking tough on crime. Many California stores have been victims of smash and grab thefts due to very weak laws and prosecutors that are unwilling to bring criminals to justice. The Gateway reported on one last August. A disturbing trend of smash and grabs is plaguing Democrat-run California. Here is a little clip.
Look who's here now, the retail man himself. His name is Gerald Storch, knows more about retailing than anybody else on this planet, just about.
Shrinkage. Oh, we're not going to play all of that.
Shrinkage, Gerald. Retailers are leaving the...
We're not going to play 3 minutes of that. But, so, I mean, who benefits and why are they doing that? Who benefits from having weak property crime laws, weak retail theft laws? The negative effect in society is, I think it stacks, you know? Like, you have bad policies, you let people get away with little things, then they do bigger little things, and then they do bigger little things. I mean, I don't want an authoritarian state, but I do want people to be able to have some remedy for being robbed every day or being, stolen from every day. And I don't think it's good for anybody if we have, if major retail outlets that provide goods to customers, if they pull out of these areas because they can't, because their alternative is, they have no other alternative other than locking stuff up. If they pull out of these areas, They're going to be replaced maybe by smaller stores that have lower margins, which means that they have more expensive goods. And then those smaller stores are going to take a harder hit when they're stolen from. So, I mean, I don't know. Seems like California is doing this to themselves. It's probably very easy to fire these prosecutors that don't want to charge criminals with petty theft and start remedying the situation by setting the expectation that if you steal, you go to jail. Okay. Let's see. I had one or two more. Here's one. From Breitbart News. Crime story. A woman in an apartment shoots an alleged intruder dead. Woman in Bartsville, Oklahoma, shot and fatally wounded an alleged intruder, early Friday morning. Fox 23 reported the woman called 911 to report the alleged intruder and then ended up shooting the suspect before the officers could arrive on the scene. Immediately made me think of that little saying, when seconds matter, police are only minutes away. That's why you have to be able and prepared to defend yourself. On News on 6 noted the alleged intruder, a 23-year-old man, was alive and lying on the threshold of the apartment doorway when officers arrived. He died a short time later after being transported to the hospital. Lacey Robertson lives near the apartment. She said, "You live in a place and you think, oh, we're safe. It's fine. But the world is just getting more and more crazy every day." The Bartlesville Examiner Enterprise observed the identity of the deceased and the homeowner were not disclosed. However, News on 6 pointed out that the police were familiar with the deceased suspect because of an alleged prior domestic issues. Well, there's not a lot that you can infer from, that story. You don't know, did these two people know each other, or what was there something more to the story than just an intruder coming in the house? Don't know. I mean, I certainly hope that it's only a good shoot and she was defending herself. And I certainly want my wife and my kids, when they're old enough, to have the ability to defend themselves from an intruder. It's like the one thing that I worry most about, because we have chaos happening in society and people are more and more and more crazy every day, and they'll do crazy things and random things, and you can take every precaution that you can imagine to defend yourself from the dangers that you perceive or the dangers that you imagine are realistic, right? But how do you prepare to defend yourself against random violence, against a crackhead who's just looking to score a little bit, and so he'll break and enter and try to get something so that he can get some drugs, or something more violent, more evil than that? But it's so difficult to be prepared for any situation, and it's even more difficult for women because women are smaller, and they're less inclined to violence. So they have to be even. I mean, they must be armed. They must be able to deflect an intruder. So I feel like, I really think that we would all be safer in a world where the expectation was, if you break into someone's house, you can be shot. If you steal, you can go to jail. If you commit violence, you will be prosecuted. I think that we would all be safer, but we have political leaders that are so weak. They're so weak. And they want to get elected so badly that they'll pander to the broadest audience that they can. And they're unwilling to say, no, you must be charged for your crime. You know, and they're willing to let people skate. They think that, if we don't target people committing petty theft so much, it'll be a better use of our resources. No, it's building up. Dave just said he would have joined. Yeah, I should have. Hey, Dave, I should have had you join. I really thought Deacon was going to be able to make it, but his house got chaotic and stuff. So, pardon me. Next time I'll definitely call you if it doesn't work out. Okay, guys, that's all the news that I had today. That's all I'm kind of ready to go for. And I'm not going to do a joke if we don't have two dads here. So I'm going to just call it for the end of the day. And we'll pick up some news tomorrow and we'll find out what's next. If you haven't already, like, subscribe. I'm Jason. I'm JJ. Rumble.com/JJW. We'll see you guys later.